Hello, my name is Brittany Mullen, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about older men in society versus older women in society and how they're both very similar but yet very different. So, to start off, we'll talk a little bit about the economic status of the groups. So, men are more likely to retire before women. And this is because men are typically offered better paying jobs, or they have more job positions available, as to where women may not have as many opportunities to do so. Both groups do have social supports, and some of these include family, the community, certain activities out in the community that they're able to do. They may spend time with their children or families. So typically, elderly men spend less time with their children than women. This is kind of the situation I'll get into in a minute about how women are typically taken care of by their children. I'm not saying that men don't spend time with their children, but elderly women are typically more likely to spend time with their children or even live with them. So elderly men and women are facing serious senior poverty problems. Women are actually more likely to be in poverty than men, and women who are not married, they're of a different nationality, and also due to medical expenses or certain medical health problems. Also, men tend to live in nursing homes or other assisted living facilities because they are unable to care for themselves, but typically children step up to take care of older women. Now, another reoccurring for both groups is a lack of social supports. One social support is family members. This does include the elderly men because they especially lack the support of family members. This has been proven in some statistics. Elderly individuals need supportive relationships, and with social supports and supportive relationships, it can cause lower mortality rates and illness in both older men and women. Older women tend to be less healthy than older men. Men are more likely to die at an early age, though, and this is not because of, men are daredevils and they like to take risks, even though a lot of people in society do believe that to be the truth. It's really due to genetics and lifestyle and nutrition and a few other factors. So that is how they are both affected, but old age is typically associated with many health problems and difficulties. And according to the article, Effect of Socioeconomic Status on Nutritional Status of Elderly People by the Indian Journal of Gerontology by the author Kumari, old age is also associated with many health problems and difficulties and is regarded as physical and mental deprivation. There are significant individual differences in every aspect of life in old age. Health at old age is fully dependent upon lifestyle practices, habits, work life, family life, which was even included during childhood, youth, and adulthood by individual. Of all of these experiences will have a positive or negative impact on individuals' health at an old age. In the present modern day, life drastically changed in lifestyle, food pattern, relationships between family members, besides economic, social, cultural, political aspects, have become more mechanical compared to previous decades. So the effect of socioeconomic status does affect both older individuals. But physical health plays a huge role, as well as the psychological health in both men and women. and how they age, but it is very different for men than it is women. So women at an older age typically go through menopause, and that can drastically impact a older woman's life, and it can cause very drastic changes very fast to them. But men, on the other hand, they respond more gradually to changes in their hormones and other health factors. So men are actually more likely to suffer from cognitive impairments if they have faced a serious health issue, such as being overweight, having a stroke, or even having diabetes and some other factors. But women are more likely to face a very serious cognitive impairment if they have become reliant on others. This includes a caregiver, their children, maybe if they're being supervised at a facility where they're being cared for. So social workers can actually perform health screenings to kind of monitor what these individuals are feeling mentally and physically, and make sure that they are living in the perfect living condition for them and what is going to help balance out their life. So senior men are actually at a risk for cardiovascular disease, prostate cancer, lung cancer, diabetes, depression, and other serious health concerns, where older women are more at risk for heart disease, arthritis, high blood pressure, and osteoporosis. So both older men and women do face serious health concerns, but they are typically very different. One of the leading issues in men's health is prostate cancer, and if you look at women's health, it can actually be considered breast cancer. So according to the journal Dependence of the Geriatric Depression on Nutritional Status and Anthropometric Indices in Elderly Population. Sorry, that word is very tricky to say, and I'm not a public speaker by any means, but depressive conditions are highly prevalent in later life and among health policy priorities. According to the World Health Organization, the world elderly population will reach 800 million by 2025, and 2/3 of them will be in developing countries. The prevalence of depression and loneliness was estimated to be at 22.4% among the elderly population. So, as I mentioned, there is research that proves that men are more likely to develop depression and other mental illnesses, but that does not mean that women cannot have them. It is actually pretty typical. So I think in society that we kind of create standards for how the elderly should live and things like that, but according to the article Relationships Between Religious Orientation and Death, Anxiety in Elderly Individuals, it is quoted, "While some people move away from the idea of death with a psychological escape, some others overcome death anxiety with a stronger religious belief by facing death. Each stage of the development of human beings is most important terms in the religious life. In the childhood and adolescence periods, religious beliefs, attitudes, and values are adopted in adulthood stage. They are improvised strength. The effects of religion on the individual are seen more intensely in the old age. An elderly individual evaluates time according to how much time is left rather than how much they have lived. Life of an elderly individual is close to the fact of death at any time due to losses and experiences. Anxiety, which is rated at the top among the moods in the elderly, is the most difficult and worrying emotion to endure for elderly people. So, with that being said, I think that men and women in society, as they get older, they do have particular values and beliefs, and they really have a lot of experiences. So I think that helps them, but when it comes to how we look at death, as the article mentioned, people hyper focus on it, and as elderly individuals get older, they quickly begin to worry about their religion, and they try to get closer in their religion and spread their religion with other people. And this can cause serious issues to elderly men and women, causing depression and anxiety about what will happen when they die, what will happen to their family. And thinking about it, I did a little research, and it actually said that many men have their family care for their funeral, but there are a lot of elderly women that actually go ahead and plan their funeral. So as a social worker, I do think that this is very important to consider. It's important to consider individuals' health as they age, their family, their living conditions, if they need medical assistance or adult daily services. And as a future social worker, if I do ever choose to work with elderly individuals, one thing I want to keep in mind is that all elderly individuals have their own experiences in life. And it's very important to understand their experiences and listen to their experiences and take that in, because what they may have experienced in their life can impact their life now and their life after death. So another thing I would consider is that a lot of elderly men and women don't really know about healthcare and how they can get assistance, or if they need assistive devices, they don't really know where to go to find that. So I think my job would be really beneficial if I could help them understand more about the resources out in the community that could potentially help them. So those are the main things that I would do as a social worker. But as I mentioned, men in society and women have many similarities and differences, but it is important to remember that as they age, that they need the community support. Thank you for watching my video. Sorry I'm not the best public speaker. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.